Hello, hi guys. Welcome back to the Align Life Pod. This is our mini episode for the Winter Solstice. So let's dive in.
Let's dive right in.
We're recording on the solstice, so it feels extra special to not be like recording it ahead of time or after time. So it's like nice that it's on the day.
Mm-hmm.
So go us. Like it ended up happening like from rescheduling. So
Yeah.
it was just like meant to be.
Definitely. I love it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and dive into our first little topic. The energy of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So winter starts today, and I think that there is almost this, it's hard to balance like the energy of the season, what nature and the earth tells us, and then the human lives that we're kind of like forced to live and like those rhythms and everything. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on those things?
Well, the last few years I've been really kind of honoring that like winter and January 1st is not my new year. I really see like the spring solstice being the new year, and I love honoring that because winter is like a time to hibernate. It's a time to rest and recharge. I mean, if you just look at how animals like live their lives and how they're honoring the seasons, like that feels way more natural to me than the hey, it's Black Friday, buy everything you need to do. Like, okay, let's go and drive all around and fly to all these places to celebrate, the holidays with our loved ones, and let's like um pollute the earth with firecrackers on January 1st. Like none of that feels right to me. It feels right to just kind of take it easy, take it slow, be cozy, reflect, and then continue to like water the seeds. Like winter, it's raining, it's wet. Like the seeds that you're growing are like rooting down. Um, and it just feels better for me to like honor that versus like the society that we're living in. Yeah, what about you?
Before I dive in, I said that we weren't going to do tangents, but I just have a little one because what you said sparked something in my head. But like the whole idea of like travel during the holidays is so huge, like all around the world. But I mean, our experience just here in the United States, just like all the hecticness of the seasons. And it's just interesting to think about, like, I don't know when exactly that shift happened, but I think it's so much more extreme now because people are moving so far away from like the family unit or like, and I think there's an argument to be made on both sides. Like, well, we're in a global society now. We're not just thinking about like our little communities, but then on the flip side, like all the healing comes from like thinking from the small communities rather than just like being focused globally all the time.
Yeah.
And then just how people view opportunity like as being away from like maybe the roots of the family, and then how that's shifted how we practice things. Like, yeah, I hadn't thought of that before, but
that's really interesting.
Hearing you say that just sparked that thought.
We can table that for a larger discussion too,
for sure.
There's a lot to uncover there.
But in terms of winter, I as well over the past few years have like started to embrace it more as a season where I'm giving myself permission to be more at ease with things. I think like practices of rest and restoration, all of that, like it's really useful throughout the year to sustain your energy, but it's really nice to just like take a step back and allow yourself like, okay, well, this is a season where I'm really going to focus on taking care of myself, like getting my space in order, like nourishment, so that way I'm ready when the spring comes. Like I'm ready to just like run into all of the things that I need to, because it's like a marathon from spring to the end of fall. Like all of the planting, the tending, the harvesting, like it's like over a sustained amount of time. So it's nice to give yourself permission to just be at ease for the winter. And yeah, I agree. I wish that our society was more like that. It feels like there's one setting all year.
Oh my
And
god, that's exactly what it is. It's and like more than the one setting too. Like for example, I'm in corporate life and it's all these like end of year celebrations, which is beautiful. But then at the same time, it's like calibration and like looking back and like push, 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 push before we're all on vacation. And
mm-hmm.
it's just a remedy for burnout, to be honest. And man, I just think that like kind of setting goals. I almost want it to just be stretched out more from like just December to like December to March.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Um, that's all I have to say about that for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, so how do you feel like your practices then shift? Like you're already feeling, okay, this is a season where I want to slow down. So what does that look like in your day-to-day life?
Yeah. Um, well, I'm trying to find like more balance and be more yin and kind of look at like winter is a yin season. And so that looks like warm foods, not like instead of like a cold salad, I'll have like a soup or um, just kind of I'm learning more about like what nourishing yin practices are right now, and so I'm trying to honor that um, instead of like walks outside because there's no sun. I really miss the sun.
Mm-hmm.
um, More like kind of like you touched on before, like more yoga or indoor activities of movement, like going to the gym. So it's kind of shifting as far as like my self care movement practices, but then also um, the way that I'm reflecting, like I'm just spending more time journaling and thinking about um, all of the things that I've said all year that I want to work on instead
Mm-hmm.
of like kind of rushing to do the next thing. I'm just taking this time to like focus on those things, focusing on yeah, my self-care, self-development, self-growth work, my passion
Mm-hmm.
projects, YouTube channel, and wedding planning too. Like one big way, one actual like example of how this showed up for me was I was trying to decide if I was going to go to Florida for New Year's to like be with my family. Excuse me. My cousin's having like a big New Year's party. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
family reunion. And I found myself like talking to you about it on the phone yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
trying to decide, am I going to go to this? Like what feels good in my body? And I felt like the only reasons I wanted to say yes to it was because of FOMO. Like I wanted to see my family, but it didn't feel
Yeah.
right for me because saying yes to that would be me saying no to spending that time to like really try to figure out like planning my wedding
Mm-hmm.
and taking the time of like having the break to rest and recharge and only focus on like a couple things that like have a lot of meaning to me versus like going and socializing. And in a bigger conversation, like I my whole life, because I have such a big family and there's like so much love and joy and gathering in my life, I've always said yes to those social things, like those family social things. And by saying yes to that, I'm saying no to the things that like nourish me and like have a more positive effect on me. And so I've really learned to like protect my yes. And by
Yeah.
protecting my yes, that means I'm saying no to things. And I have been letting go of the guilt of like disappointing people or like even disappointing myself in a way of like, oh, I would have really liked to go to that trip, but I actually think that this is a better decision,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. That's important. I think for me, the practices that like I see coming up more in the winter, um, like day to day, what it's really looked like has been I've been so focused, and I know I sound like a broken record to you and to our listeners,
No, they're all good
but
reminders.
but I am just so like almost obsessed with like finally having a sense of peace in my space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm putting a lot of my effort, and I'm viewing it as like it's all like cyclical. Like if my space feels out of alignment and like cluttered and like full of things that I don't need, it's taking up mental energy, which is like draining me. But like on the flip side, if I make sure that I'm throwing things away, it like feeds into me feeling more free and like more open, and like life just flows better. So I think the end of the year is a nice time. Like it's, of course you want to be doing it throughout the year so you don't feel overwhelmed, but I think the end of the year is a really good time, at least for me, to give extra energy to it. Um because it is also kind of like a psychological thing where you're like closing out a calendar year, and I don't want to bring a bunch of stuff from the previous year with me. Um, so that has been like a big focus. And then similar to you, I always return to more yoga and more just like gentle movement, or just like something that will warm me up. So I really like doing more cardio during the winter.
Yeah.
So that way I can feel like it feels good in the gym, but then you step outside and you're like, oh shit, it's so cold.
You know, I love doing hot yoga during this time of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that has been the big ways that my practices have shifted, just like more focus on home, more focus on like taking care of my body in a different way than I would like when it's all sunny and warm outside.
Yeah.
And just being okay that things are just gonna shift, and that's fine. That's like the natural way of things.
And I actually love seeing how more and more people are like, and it could be my algorithm, but more and more people are kind of on the same page of this with us, of what winter means and how that reflects in our like day-to-day lives. And different practices that can be done during that time that like works for people. So it's nice to see that, although maybe in mainstream it's like still the go 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 end of year, whatever. At least there's kind of there's a little bit more energy given to like how to be slow and be like kind of in flow with what nature's doing during this time. One thing that another thing of like my practices is I'm always kind of looking ahead, of what the future brings and like what my goals are, and oh, why am I not there yet? But lately I've found myself being like a little bit more intentional about how am I bringing, like, for example, slow living into my life right now. Like if I want to have a slower pace of life, in the future, what can I do right now to embody that? And so I think, like the example I just gave earlier, and just different ways in my life of like choosing that slower pace, choosing that intentionality is feeling a lot more nurturing. And it doesn't have to just be a future thing. I can embody it now. So it's been like a nice reminder to myself.
Yeah, that's true. I think like once you realize that trying to mirror like the lessons of what the season is trying to like push through to us, once you realize that life feels better that way, it becomes more of like motivating, like, okay, well, what can I actually do? Because I'm still living in this world that has the pace that it has, like in terms of work and everything else. But what little things can I do, like, to make it feel more, I guess, nourishing for me.
And peaceful. And yeah. Awesome. All right. So we're gonna end the episode out with picking an oracle card.
Yes. Okay. So my thought for this, just so all of our listeners can know, we are using the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck. I got it from Amazon. Sorry. But it's a beautiful deck. I really love it. I've had my eye on it for a while, and then I just finally purchased it earlier this year.
It's so pretty.
Yes, but this is what I did. I shuffled it, I shuffled it 3 times. Okay. And then I cut the deck 6 times. So that way we get to 9, because that's the numerology of this year.
Okay.
And And then my thought was we can like pause and ask a question that we want, like just a little, I don't know, a little guidance for. And we can go from there. And then
are we just picking one card?
Yeah, I think we can each pick one. So
Okay.
you can kind of have a question
And I just
that you
pull from
want.
the top.
You can pull from the top if that feels good, or you can reshuffle, whatever
Okay.
you want.
Yeah.
But you can go first.
Okay. All right. Should I say my question out loud?
You can say it now, or you can say it like right before you read, because we can read like what little message we got.
Okay.
Too.
Okay.
Up to you.
Well, I pulled the Priestess Intuition card.
Mm-hmm.
What the Priestess Intuition card looks like is a lady with two cute little buns. I wear my hair like that a lot. She's wearing green, and her arms are open wide, almost like there's a crescent moon right below her. And there's yellow on top. It's like almost fiery, and then green on bottom, which feels like earth. And Emily and I both have intuition tattooed on us.
Mm-hmm.
That's our best friend right tattoo. There. So it feels like it feels very aligned, but also not the straight up answer I was looking for. But let's see what the book says.
What was your question?
My question was, I was asking for guidance on how to plan our wedding in a very like authentic way that reflects like mine and Aaron's love for each other, and like in a way that would feel really good for us.
Oh, I can. Okay, well, I can see how this would work, but let's see. Okay. Okay, so Priestess Intuition, the shadow of this is reason. So being overly logical about things.
God damn it.
Priestess is a hollow bone, a clear and open channel for receiving and transmitting divine wisdom. Through the ages, she has spoken on behalf of the great goddess, holding authority and insight as an intermediary between the physical and spiritual realms. Honor the prophetic lineage of Priestess by cultivating your intuition as the voice of the divinity that resides within. A card about opening up to what lies beyond our five senses. Priestess asks you to listen deeply and heed your inner knowing. An audience with the Priestess means that unseen powers are at work. If you are navigating unknowns, either for yourself or another, become a vessel for visionary guidance. Articulate what you hope to clarify and wait for a response. Oh, the waiting like also kind of like goes with your you being a projector, right? Like waiting for an invitation.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look at you. Okay.
The answer may come in many forms: a bodily knowing, a premonition, a sudden momentum toward or away from the matter at hand. Pay special attention to the area of the forehead between the eyebrows, where many religions believe higher perception resides, the brow chakra. Known in Buddhism, Hinduism, and Taoism as the third eye, it is here that the mind, psychic impressions, and empathy converge. Rather than relying on others to guide you or listening solely to the voice of reason, whose logic can drown out deeper knowing, hearken to your inborn oracle. Likewise, avoid getting stuck in the belief that you already have all the answers, which can shut down your ability to attune to your sixth sense. Be open, and you shall receive and perceive. Priestess serves the highest good. Through her, the divine feminine speaks truth and acts in the name of love. She calls you to become a conduit as well, beseeching you to be the voice of eternal wisdom that infuses the sacred into every aspect of life. Priestess reminds you that ultimately you are not your mind, body, or experiences. You are that which was never born and therefore can never die, the quiet, hidden ecstasy that permeates everything and makes all things holy.
Wow, that was really beautiful.
That totally.
I mean, it's
a nice guide.
No, it's
for
literally
you.
Like so aligned, and it's like kind of annoying because it's like, oh, I already know this, but it's like, do you, like the card is like, do you though? Like, I don't know. It's very projectory too, because like part of my human design, I'm a 3-5 projector, and so 5 is like becoming, 3 is experimenting, and 5 is like becoming an expert in something. And so it's like almost like this is another invitation to like hone in my intuition. Like just because I've been honing it in doesn't mean I'm like done. Like there's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? And I have been like this whole wedding planning thing. I've been letting my intuition guide me, and I think that's why it feels like it's taken a long time. We're almost coming up on a year of being engaged, and I'm like, I keep asking the earth, I keep asking the world, the universe to like allow me to have like this slow life and slow living, but then I'm like growing impatient that like we haven't found the right place yet. And so it's almost like maybe I'm like contradicting myself a little bit. Maybe this is my invitation to like lean in to the ultimate plan of like what's going to happen, and just like keep allowing my intuition to guide me, and like that it feels like a reminder that like again I'm on the right path, like by allowing my intuition to guide me in this decision making. Like that's the best thing that I could do, and to like keep doing it, because I'm waiting for that feeling of like, okay, this feels right, and I just haven't. We both like both of us haven't gotten that yet as far as like venues go.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe after your upcoming trip, you'll feel more. Maybe that will be the thing that pushes you one way or the other.
Yeah.
I know that elopement was a word that was thrown around.
This morning, actually, I asked Aaron, I was like, you know, what do you think about if we like eloped and then had a celebration? And it's something that we have talked about, but yeah, we're just considering different options and what would work for us. So
yeah,
I'm hoping like the last trip we got some clarity around like absolutely not wanting to get married there, even though we loved going to Oaxaca. And I think it gave us still ideas of what we want and don't want, so it did give us clarity.
yeah,
But hopefully this trip will give us like even more clarity to help us like make that decision, because I just don't want to keep this like, I don't want to be in this planning phase for much longer. I'm ready to like move to the next step now.
yeah.
Okay, your turn. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know where you want to put this card.
Should
we just leave it?
Yeah, you can leave it out, because I'm just gonna take it from the top too.
Okay.
Ooh. I got Lotus Resilience.
Ooh. That feels good. That card is pretty.
Yeah, this is a really pretty one. I haven't picked this one yet. So for you all, you can see there's clearly like a water line, and you can see under the water where there's like the little, I don't know if it's called buds, but like there's lotuses that are approaching and lily pads that are approaching like the top of the water, and there's one that is coming out of the water in like the mud area. The lotus is like a really pretty, like different shades of pink and purple. And then in the background, you can see it looks like a woman who's sitting in meditation, and she's kind of like faded out, which makes me feel like it's like a very spiritual card. Okay. So yeah, Lotus Resilience. The question that I asked was, what energy can I tap into for the next 2 weeks to really help me like feel good in myself and feel good as this calendar year is coming to a close? Oh, cool. I am interested to see what it says.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Resilience. That feels like on point.
It definitely feels good. I think that resilience is something, it's not a word that I think of a lot. Yeah. It's not a word that I think of a lot, but it is something that I would like to have more of.
Yeah. Okay. Lotus, resilience. The shadow is defeat. For everything flowers from within of self-blessing. though sometimes it is necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness. Galway Kinnell. A card of new beginnings. Lotus's power blooms best out of the thickest mud. Be in the world, but not of it. That is the invocation of Lotus. With her roots latched in muck, Lotus retreats every night back into turbid water and miraculously reblooms unsullied the next morning. This unique life cycle enacts rebirth and transcendence. In many spiritual traditions, it distinguishes Lotus as a companion of the divine. The Buddha's first enlightenment steps were said to leave Lotus blooming in their wake, a reminder to rise in full radiance from the grip of suffering. Drawing Lotus is evidence that you are being asked to cultivate resilience. Can you adapt to and even savor the cycle of retreat and reemergence that turns grit into grace? Learn from Lotus, whose petals have a special waxy coating that sheds dirt to protect her pristine nature. Lotus medicine offers immunity against misfortune and equanimity in the face of upheaval. In times when you feel bogged down by defeat, endeavor to embrace irrepressible tranquility amid the sludge of circumstance. Adopt a long view of sadness. Setbacks have their place in our lives, just as happiness does. Accept despair with perspective, knowing joy is on the other side of sorrow. No matter the path, you have the chance to resurrect yourself anew each day. A lotus seed has an unusually long period of viable germination, withstanding hundreds of years without water. Similarly, even when conditions appear unfavorable, they may be cultivating you for a future delight. Trust that times of bleakness can, with patience and resilience, lead to reemergence. But when the healing waters finally come, toss out everything that doesn't serve your growth with unwavering faith in what does. The collapse into helplessness, the narratives that seek to submerge you in fear, let them go. Keep Lotus in your symbolic sights, receptive to the impulse in you that is always ready to break through. Never forget that you yourself share Lotus vital energy, perfect, pure, and always ready for the light.
I love that one.
I loved it.
I feel like that was also very appropriate for what I was asking too.
Yeah.
And it also just kind of like reaffirms that like I do feel like it's a time of like shedding and letting go and just yeah, I guess like what the reading said, like being really unapologetic about getting rid of any shit that is just not for you, not serving you, and just have faith that like yeah, like there's a reason that we're getting rid of this. It's bogging you down, you don't need it.
Yeah.
So that just like puts me in a really like nice headspace where I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna take this for the next 2 weeks and like
I love it.
transform what I can at home.
Yeah.
Like what I have the power to do.
It also feels aligned because it's saying like this moment is teaching you a specific lesson, and so you get to take that in the future with you. And so there might be something here that's uncovering something super important that maybe if you were in a different space or in a different moment, like you wouldn't learn whatever is like coming from this. You know what I mean?
Yes, and like even as you were saying that, the one thing that comes to my head, which I don't think I've seriously thought of it this way before, but just the physical act of like moving from having more space to moving into a very tiny space, like it's impossible to not notice all the things that you've carried with you because everything is in a confined space. And then like you really have to just be like, well, I'm feeling like claustrophobic and like energetically not good, like with everything around. But the space isn't changing. Like I need to just take things out of the space to make the change. And so I think like that even like honestly right now, one thing it that I've been talking about with Eddie this week too, as we're gonna start looking for new places like after January. I was asking him, I'm like, do we really like what do we need in our new place? Because even we were talking about maybe getting rid of our TV, or I was even talking to him, I'm like, I love our table so much, you know this. Like I love our table. And I was like, well, I don't want to get rid of the table. What if we kept the table and got really nice, like better chairs for our table?
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't have a couch. And then when people come over, we can just be sitting at the table and like be there instead.
Mm-hmm.
And we also both don't want to just like make it the habit of, oh, we're just going to veg out on the couch like after work. Like we want the space to feel different or like have different intentions of the space.
That's
And
so interesting.
so,
Yeah. Like programming it specifically for how you want to use it.
yeah, because I'm thinking like I just always come back to like I've gotten rid of so many other physical things, but that's one thing where I'm like, no, we genuinely love using this piece of furniture.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's inviting because there's enough space to have people come over and have a place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And like when we're working, we both love spreading out.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just thinking like, okay, well maybe this is the time in our life when we can't have both.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay because we love this one thing and it serves so many purposes. Like now my mind is just going on like, oh, I love this card and like all the things that are coming up right now.
Oh, I love the inspiration it's bringing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another great pull from this deck.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here with me, for doing like a little solstice like ritual together. I love it. I think we should do that next year for the equinox and the other solstice.
I love the idea of doing a card pull like per season. Cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. Would love to hear what your thoughts are on winter and this season. And hope you have a wonderful solstice and may the light find you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.